All right, welcome to Two Guys, One Take. I'm Noah. That is Turner. Turner, what's on your mind?
What is on my mind is DeMar in the club after a tough loss in the playing games.
Yes,
Tough loss.
the DeMar DeRozan Invitational, the playing game, an annual tradition. Yeah, what's the story with that? I saw the guy posted his side of the story, and DeMar said he came up to him with like a camera and a light just in his face, no like warning.
Yeah, I think they were in a restaurant, but some guy just came up to him with his light, I don't even know if he was recording, but it was just like a light or phone in his face, and
Yeah,
DeMar was obviously like, get that out of my face like any normal person would, but I mean, obviously escalated.
yeah. I think I'm always on the athlete's side with these things because fans don't really know how to act sometimes. They just get in guys' faces like what happened this offseason with Jason Kelsey, like some guy just coming up to him,
Oh yeah.
calling his brother a name. Like, fans just like do that these days, like with
I
their
know.
phones. And it's like, of course you're going to get, like, somebody's going to get upset with you. Like, I don't know.
It doesn't make sense to me. Like, especially you said the Jason Kelsey thing. Like, why would you say that to him? Like, you
Yeah.
put your phone in his face, he's gonna smash it. Like, obviously, neither one of us have the same status, but if there's a phone in my face and you're saying some pretty harsh stuff, like, I'm probably gonna Gronk spike it. I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be definitely will be upset. And if I was like an athlete or a person of like certain status and you're saying something about me and you have things like I don't know, I feel like fans are just kind of entitled. Like they walk right up to guys, they expect to get a picture all the time, no matter like there's a time and a place. Like I feel like
Oh yeah.
before a baseball game, before a game, guys come around and do pictures like mostly for kids because that's what it's supposed to be for. But
Oh yeah.
there's a time and a place for that. Like you see a guy out in public just like having dinner, you don't bother them. So
They're all trying to get their TMZ clips either way, man. It's like, it's
yeah.
tough.
Well, because then he gets to release his side of the story now, the guy that came up to him. So now he gets like his little 15 minutes of fame. It's really easy to just say what's up to a guy and keep it moving if you recognize him too.
Oh yeah.
Um,
It's too easy. I mean, especially DeMar DeRozan. I feel like DeMar is so chill.
yeah.
There's no point.
Yeah, I've never seen him really pop off like that. I
No.
have a I have something that happened to me this weekend. I
Oh,
went I was at the mall, Bellevue Mall. Shout out to the Bellevue Mall. I was
what
in
was exciting.
Nordstrom walking
Okay.
around. Jamal Crawford walking right towards me on the phone. Seattle native. Hit him really quick. Walk by him. What up, Jamal? Gives me a nod. That's all you got to
Yes.
do.
What up, Jamal? I
That's
mean,
all you got to do.
I've been to so many tournaments where Jamal's there, and I'm just like, he just chops it up with everyone. He's just a dude's dude,
Yeah,
honestly.
he seemed cool, but it's like he's on the phone. I'm not going to come up to him with my phone and
Oh,
be
yeah.
like, Jamal, Jamal, Jamal,
Jamal,
take a
I'm trying to
picture with
take a
me right
pic.
now.
Yeah, dude.
Right now,
Yeah.
dude. Come on. Right here at the
Yeah.
Nordstrom.
Right here at the Nordstrom.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought that. I mean, but the video was crazy. I've never seen DeMar really pop off like that. Even in a game, people try and get under his skin. He's pretty chill. So
Yeah, he's
weird.
just trying to hit some mid ranges, man. Just let him do
Middies.
it.
Let
Let
him
him
hit a
do it.
midi.
Yeah, dude. But next, Ashton Gentry came out and said he gave a letter to all the NFL teams,
Yep.
and the letter said, "quote I've taken the long way. I'm done with that way. If you pick me, it's simple. I'm coming to your franchise to do what Saquon and the Eagles just did. I'm coming to win big soon. It's tackle football. Dot dot dot. You know what I'm saying. I draft a guy they can't tackle. Thank you for your time, Ashton Gentry."
Great point. Great point by Ashton Gentry.
I
The
mean,
guy they can't tackle.
that was literally the whole last college football season. Every single playoff, or not playoff, but every single time Boise State would play, every college game day you'd watch. I don't know how many highlights of Ashton
Yep.
Gentry getting a 60-yard touchdown run after breaking 5 tackles. Like,
Bouncing off people too every
yeah,
time. I mean, he's correct. He is impossible to tackle. It seems like he has like Vaseline on him or something. Like people just like fall off him. It's kind of crazy to watch. But
yeah. I mean, it is scary taking a running back like that early in the draft for everyone, and the Raiders obviously having the worst probably one of the worst lucks other than the Jets within the draft and drafting players and developing young players.
Yeah,
It's just, yeah.
and that's who it seems like he's going to go to. But I've been seeing some mocks say that line. This would be even stupider. But I've been seeing some mocks say right before them Jacksonville might take him at 5 because Jacksonville, if you pay attention to how they're run, I mean they're owned by the WWE guys. They're not really in the business of winning games. They're in the business of like trying to be entertaining.
That is
Um,
true.
so
That
like
is true.
if he's sitting there for them, maybe they just take him, and then that might save the Raiders and make them take a player they actually kind of need. I don't know, but it does
Yeah.
stink. It would stink to miss on him still, but
Well,
could
who
be
did
better.
the Jags have? They have ETN and
The Jags,
yeah.
they have ETN and they have Bigsby. So like if they took Genty, then ETN
I mean,
and
Bigsby didn't have the worst season. I think ETN kind
Bigsby
of
is the man. I was
Bigsby
just gonna
is
say if they take Genty, then Genty and Etienne could sit on the bench and watch Bigsby go to work. It'd
yeah,
be awesome.
yeah. I mean, you can't really leverage ETN right now either after that season. So
He
that's
can't
kind
hold
of.
on to the ball. He's got issues. So that might be at the pick too at
I
5.
mean, he had a decent rookie season, but last year obviously kind of fell off. I don't know if it
Yeah,
was a sophomore struggle or what, but
yeah. His brother's in the draft this year too
oh
from
yeah,
Georgia.
Georgia. He's
Yep.
he's dropping, but it's
Yeah.
running backs in drafts are so weird. Like especially now that they're not getting paid and
Yeah. I think it's
uh,
just like one of those things. I think we're going to see 2 in the first round, like Hampton and Genty, but like this is such a deep class that some of these guys that go in like the 4th would maybe be like second round guys other years, but there's just so much
uh,
depth that teams are gonna be like, we can just wait and get a guy in
yeah.
the 4th or 5th that is going to
I
be pretty
mean,
good.
yeah, teams have been getting like decent running backs for not that much, just signing them to 1 or 2 year deals, and it's like you can manage that because they have already had their time. Like you're pretty
Yep.
much signing them to the rookie contract, and after that, it's like you can sign again for
Let him
pretty
go.
much nothing, or you can leave. Like try
Yeah,
to leverage your own contract. But
exactly. Unless you're like a generational guy like Saquon, that's
yeah,
pretty much, or like we'll
I
see what
mean,
happens
even
with
Saquon,
Bijan.
dude, like he was still out of New York. Like
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's crazy.
yeah,
It's weird being a running back, but
yeah. We'll see what happens with Bijan. That'll be
yeah,
the next guy that's up for a contract that's, was coming in, was kind of like on the Genty Saquon like level of this guy could go early in the first. So
yeah.
we'll see what
Bijan's
happens with that.
I love Bijan. Bijan's a dude.
Bijan's my guy. This is gonna
Yeah.
be the first year I can't have him in fantasy. I'm
I was
sad.
gonna say I feel like every year you have him in fantasy, but
Every
it's
year
just
since he was a rookie, I've had him, but you know,
um keeping it on football low keysy. The Giants meeting with Shadour for
it's it is
yeah.
owners get involved time. That's what that tells me. Owners getting involved with for the decision for the Giants because I think if it was up to the football people to make the decision, they would probably just take Abdul or Travis Hunter, whichever one fell to them at 3. But I think now that the owner's involved, he wants to have Shadour on the team, have the quarterback situation figured out, not rely on Russell Wilson, and he wants to be on TV more, which that would accomplish that. The Giants are a big TV poll, and Shadour is a big TV poll, so that's what that sells. That's what that tells me.
Yeah. I mean, I would love it. Uh, getting Shadour off the board so the Steelers don't do something stupid.
Yeah,
Um, and passing on Abdul Carter would be pretty wild, in my opinion, just because I think he is one of those classic Penn State guys that keep coming to the league. I mean, Micah,
yeah.
I forgot the other one, but like they just develop defensive players and they're always good, always good.
Especially for the Giants situation specifically, they could have an insane pass rush. If they took Abdul Carter, that would basically be like tripling down on his strength because they'd have Thibodeau, Carter, Brian Burns, and Dexter Lawrence. That would
Sexy
be
Dexy.
exactly. And so they would be, I mean, it'd be impossible. Like a third down, 3rd and 7, whatever you're bringing, bringing the heat, you're going to have no time.
Yeah. I mean, they do need help on offense, like as much help as they can get.
Definitely, they need a quarterback to get the ball in the league, but I don't mind. I don't think Russell Wilson's good anymore by any means, but is
You're
your
telling
goal
me.
this year, whether you draft Shadour or not, the goal this year is not to win. You're not winning the Super Bowl. You're probably not making the playoffs.
No,
So
no.
if that's not the goal, why not take the best football player available, Carter, and then just have Russell Wilson feed neighbors, keep him happy all year,
Yeah.
lose, lose a bunch again, and then next year's
Try it.
quarterback class, see what happens.
Try
See if
again.
it's better.
Try
But
again.
they're going to take Shadour. It's going to be classic Giants
Yeah.
and owners getting involved and overruling everybody. It's going to be
I mean, and
rough if
if
you're a Giants fan.
yeah, and if they don't get Malik Neighbors a quarterback, like he's gone.
He'll be the next guy to start asking out because he is awesome.
He is a
He is
dog.
awesome.
Absolute dog. He look
Very,
he
very good.
could get offensive player of the year if he had a quarterback, like within the
Yes.
next 2 years.
Yes.
100%.
A decent one.
Yes. And staying on football, but we're going to college. Nico Lama Lama Leva. Lama Lama not a believer.
Nico Amaliva, Tennessee. He's
I'm gonna
out.
leave it. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it and go to UCLA for less money.
Yeah. I don't want to speculate on his decision making, but from what I've read about this on The Athletic and then also just listening to some, other podcasts that I trust for college football stuff, it sounds like his dad advises him and his family advises him. And I think his dad and his family and Nico really obviously miscalculated this on a lot of levels. I mean, they basically the reason they felt they needed 4 million is because Carson Beck got 4 at Miami, but he got that at Miami
Yeah.
going in the transfer portal right after the season, where teams have their money to spend still. Whereas Nico waited, thought he was going to get that from Tennessee. They kind of told him no, and then he goes into the spring transfer portal when everybody's money's already spent and everybody already kind of has at least an idea of who their starting quarterback's going to be. So his market he had no market. And then also the money that he wanted wasn't even available anymore. I thought that was horrible miscalculation from the Iamaliavas.
It was terrible because he wanted the 4 mil, and then he got 2 mil. But you're gonna be living in LA, and it's gonna be 2 mil is gonna get you nowhere compared to what 2 mil would have got you in Tennessee. And then same thing with Carson Beck. Like he had to have 4 mil because everything, all of expenses and everything, that comes down to probably less than 2 mil.
Yeah,
Like
he's
I
in
don't know.
Miami. And it's also I don't know, you're going to leave an SEC school where I give guys that are quarterbacks coming out of the SEC, I don't judge their statistics the same way. I need to watch them against SEC is different than any other conference to me. I mean, you can argue that there's a better conference, but to me there's not. Especially every week you're playing guys that are going to be playing on Sundays. So to leave that and go to UCLA and play in the Big 12, which you're still going to play, good teams. You could have a good team around you, but I just think he's going to a situation where it's Tennessee, UCLA, UCLA to me is a basketball school, and I get it. He's from LA, but I just think they totally fucked this up. Him and his family just fucked this up. And now on a football level, I think he's going to be playing for obviously a worse team. I guess they had complaints about the offense last year too, but it's dude, Josh Heupel, the coach at Tennessee, has been praised for his offenses, what he got out of Hendon Hooker and some of these guys that he's had come through the program. He's been pretty universally praised. I think his offense makes guys look really good, and it's tough in the SEC to every week look like that. I don't understand what his complaint about the offense was, and he didn't play very well in games against good competition. So I don't I've been seeing a lot of people really hate on him. I don't like hating on a kid. He's he's not even 21 yet, I don't think. So I don't whatever being super on my high horse about it, but I just think him and his family really miscalculated it, and I hope he does well at UCLA, but I just think he's in a worse situation, in a worse conference, and typically this doesn't go great, and he's transferring so late, he's just going to be behind this year. So not sure how that's going to work.
I think it was just a classic parents are getting way too involved and expecting more out of their kids. I don't know, and think they're worth more. I don't know. Just a weird time in NIL.
Yeah, and I agree with you though. We kind of saw this a little bit with. This reminds me a little bit of another guy with a long last name, DJ
Oh,
Uyunglele,
yeah.
where his parents were apparently advising him as well, and
Mm-hmm.
he, bounced around after Clemson. He, probably should have just stayed at Oregon State where he played pretty
Yes.
well and they had a good defense, and then he goes
Mm-hmm.
to FSU and he's just not as good as he was recruited to be.
Yeah.
His recruiting ranking would suggest, and I think it's tough, like parents that maybe I don't know what any of their situations are, but like you see money on the table for your kid, but they're still a kid, so it's kind of everybody's money at that point.
Yeah.
I think it just makes them go a little bit crazy. And we played sports growing up. Certain parents like you meet and you're like, dude, we're playing travel baseball. We're 13. Like,
Yeah.
what's the problem?
No, 100%. And I think it was weird with DJ just because coming out of OSU and then trying to find money, pretty much just looking for just money, kind of reflected on OSU's offense that year and their like OC because their OC moved to Michigan State.
Yep,
Damian Martinez also left too with him, so it was
to
like,
Miami.
yeah. I mean, they both went to Miami, so uh, yeah, I think it reflected pretty much just on the organization how it ran, and then that's I feel like also going into the SEC from being was it still the Pac when they were in the
It was the last year of the no. It was the first year that team started to move. It was the last year of the pack, so some
yeah
teams had left, and
yeah
then they go to Florida State to the ACC. But still, that's a better conference than the pack was.
yeah the Pac did have
Um,
a strong year that year because that was
they had good
when
quarterbacks.
UW was in the
Yeah,
um
that last year was like their best year because they had Penix, and Bo Nix,
yeah
Caleb, good
Caleb
quarterback year.
was that when Cam was at
Cam
WSU
was at
too?
WSU.
Crazy, that's so wild. That's fucking
Last year, the
awesome.
Pac-12 was crazy, and then DJ played well for Oregon State.
Yeah,
Um, who was that? Somebody was that. Um, no, the UCLA guy wasn't good. Never
yeah. I
mind.
was gonna say I feel like the only UCLA guy was the only other one.
There
But
was a guy at UCLA that was supposed to be decent, but then he wasn't. Utah
yeah,
had Cam Rising, and they're gonna have him again.
what is that? Year nine, eight?
This will be year 8 or 9 for him
That's
in college.
wild. That's like that one tight end for Miami last year.
Yes,
God, year nine off of like three torn ACLs. I could not imagine.
just keep playing. Fuck it.
Dude, I mean, just if they're, especially if they're paying him, I mean, fuck it, dude.
You got your whole life to go be an accountant.
Oh, yeah.
You
Or
definitely don't have your whole life to
work
play
at
quarterback.
Enterprise Rent a Car, dude. It's the dream. The last
Definitely.
thing, for some random stuff I'm just throwing out there, just because they said it on the broadcast, which I thought it was cool. But the NBA refs, depending on how well they like call games throughout the season, is determined if they can ref in the playoffs, and if they do well in the playoffs, then they like make it to the finals. I think that's sick. I don't know why I just wanted to throw that in there, but I think that is like probably one of the best systems I could think of.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, isn't
I
that
didn't know
weird?
that. Yeah, that is weird. I didn't know that. I would hope any of the refs that were involved in the um, Warriors and Memphis playing game were disqualified immediately
Yes.
based on their performance.
Mm-hmm.
Just taken out back and never to ref again. But
Yes.
I'd like to know what the MLB's like way of doing that is, because I do think we get better umpiring in the playoffs than in the regular season. But man, some of the regular season umpiring is
Dude,
fucking brutal.
brutal. I have seen some very things.
Like, even, I mean, not to jump into Yankees talk, we can save this for later, but like
Or
they
we can just
stole.
jump in, honestly.
Okay, yeah, we'll just jump into some Yankees talk since we're talking umps. I mean, they stole a home run from Aaron Judge today. He very clearly hit a home run. The ball
Yes.
landed in trees that are in fair territory at this stadium in Tampa Bay at George Steinbrenner Field, and they called it foul on the field, and then they went to review, and then they called it foul again.
It's insane.
Then next pitch, they rung him up on a pitch that's like at his like ankles, and so Boone gets thrown out. I needed a good like Booney like toss. Those are
Yeah.
always fantastic. I don't know why he wears his hat like that. It's like on top of his. It's like
Mm-hmm.
not on the back of his head. It's only on the front. I don't know.
It's
I
like
think
it's kind of how I like wear my hat, honestly.
it's like a stovetop, but it's like I wear it like that a little bit, but he's like aggressive with it. It's like about to fall over like on his
I
eyes. I can't believe it whenever I see it.
love that.
But when he comes out and starts yelling at guys, he couldn't even decide who to yell at. First, he was yelling at the home plate ump just to make sure Judge didn't get thrown out. Then
Yeah.
he just starts, he like loses his train of thought and starts yelling at the third base umpire for calling the ball foul. Terrible. And that's not the first time. I mean, plenty of times this year, the Yankees have gotten a terrible call. They have also had terrible calls against them. Every game I watch, there's like, no joke, like 5 to 6 where I'm just like, what? Like, how do you even make that call in that moment?
I mean, same
It,
thing with the Jazz getting thrown
yes,
out.
yes,
I just don't understand how you can't review a home run and get it right. Like that is probably one of the most clear-cut things ever. I mean, like even a lot of the you know how when they I know you can't review strikeouts yet, but like when they show the pitch and like a little bit of the ball like hits the black and I think
yep,
that's crazy too. But I definitely think they should have a better replay system and
yeah.
I don't know because that's
Yeah.
wild that they
It,
still called that foul.
I couldn't believe it. I've been seeing pictures, and I watched it live, and I was like, "That's clearly a home run." Michael Kay, who's like a great announcer, called
Hmm.
went right into his home run call. Like didn't understand what happened. It was crazy.
Yeah,
And then Boone after the game doubled down and was like, "That's you can't make that call. It's a home run." Like I can't
as he
believe it.
should. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. Even Judge never opens his mouth, but he was like, "That was a home run."
yeah, he was like,
Like
"What the fuck are we doing?"
yeah, and he never opens his mouth. He's like a politician, like
Yeah,
because he knows New York media will eat it up whatever he does. So he's like a
I mean,
politician.
better than soda. Better than soda.
Better than Soto. Yeah, but Max Fried, real quick to finish up Yankees talk. Max Fried takes sort of a no hitter into the seventh, even though the hit actually occurred earlier, but they called it an error, and then he takes it into the eighth. That might have saved my life. I don't know what happened at my local Trader Joe's today, but I was gonna go way earlier in the game, like the fifth inning. I was gonna leave, but then he's throwing a no-no, so I stuck around and watched until probably like close, pretty much the end of the game at that point because it was like the eighth inning when he got taken out. Go to my local Trader Joe's, shout out Trader Joe's by the way,
EJ's
and they tell
place.
me no, you can't come in here. There's been an emergency. So I left and I took off. And you know what? I feel like that was divine intervention.
Yeah.
The
That's
no-no.
a that can be a sign too. I mean,
I think it was
Max
divine
Fried,
intervention.
Max Fried, Cy Young.
Max Fried, Cy Young, he's been nails. And honestly, I've been trying not to think about the fact that we were supposed to have a Garrett Cole Max Fried 1-2 punch because we'll have it next year, maybe if Cole comes back, okay. But oh my God, if we had a Cole Fried 1-2 punch and Fried was pitching like this,
That would be crazy.
Jesus, that would
Uh,
be ridiculous.
I mean, your guys' staff isn't terrible. I mean, I know your
We got
bullpen's
Schmidt
better than
back.
your rotation.
We got Schmidt back. If we can get Heel back mid-season and he pitches like he did last year, still a good rotation. But
Yeah.
Friedman nails. Shout out to him for possibly saving my life today. I don't know what happened
I
at the
th
Trader Joe's,
you
but
should
prayers
send him a
up.
letter.
I probably will.
Write him a
Honestly,
letter,
I
dude.
handwritten.
Handwritten. You
Prayers
should,
up for the
yeah,
Queen Anne Trader Joe's. Don't know what happened.
yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah, well, that's Yankees. We can probably, I mean, the real stuff that's going on. Some NBA. First off, yesterday was Pacers Bucks 117-98 in Noah. Looks like the Pacers might run away with this one, in my opinion.
Yeah. The only thing I have to say about the Bucks, they put out some of the most depressing five-man groups of any of the playoff teams. When Kevin Porter is out there, like by himself, just making shit happen,
Yeah.
just dribbling around. And when Kuzma is out there doing the same thing, basically, I mean, I don't know I think Kevin Porter might be better than Kuzma, which is crazy. Um, that sometimes they have Porter, Kuzma, Portis, and like Brook out there together. That's awful.
It's terrible. That is
That is
so
awful.
bad.
In a year where it seems like, I mean, Giannis could if they have another first round exit for the third year in a row, and this team is as bad as it looks around him. I mean, that he'd be fully within his rights to ask for to be moved, and they just seem like they're like, no, it's fine. We'll just keep putting terrible teams around him.
Yeah. I mean, he did it before, but like my biggest concern with the Bucks right now is, I mean, if Giannis plays the majority of the game, you'll have that obviously two-way player. Like he's gonna get to the rim, he's gonna play good defense, but there's no one on the perimeter that plays that kind of lockdown defense, and I think the Giroux trade is always going to come back to haunt them. Like they're never going to
Yep.
have that same guy that can play good perimeter defense and then even score when a guy like Giannis isn't on the court.
Yep. Especially Drew is like an all-time playoff performer. I mean, you see it. He scored 9 points in a really important third quarter today.
Yeah.
He doesn't do that in the regular season because he's kind of saving himself for it. But like,
Mm-hmm.
he locks guys down in the playoffs. He won them. Giannis was awesome in the finals in 2021. But like, Drew in the fourth quarter had the big defensive plays consistently, like
Yeah.
taking the ball from Booker, like that. I mean, that won them the series in Game 6.
Mm-hmm.
So that was definitely a miscalculation on their end. Trading him away. I think they were basing it off of his age, but I think they maybe didn't take into account that like a guy like that is smart enough to take care of his body and then be ready for the playoffs
Oh,
and
yeah.
just get you there. And I love Damian Lillard, but I would argue that a guy like Drew, I know he didn't play yesterday, but a guy like Drew contributes to playoff winning more than Lillard does because Lillard
Yes.
can't defend anybody at all.
Yes. Um, I agree with you there, and I also think that like the Bucks had their guy with Giannis, the guy that's going to score. He's going to do the majority of like
Yes.
the playmaking, everything like that, and then bringing in Dame and also wanting him to be a scorer. Like obviously that doesn't help either of their cases, and like Dame's not going to play Drew level defense,
No.
so everyone's still going to get to the rim. Everyone's still going to get whatever shot up they want, and Giannis has to be down there to defend it. I mean, Brooks Lopez does a good job holding it down, but he's not Giannis.
And Brooke is also like 38, 39, something like
Yeah.
that. He's been in the league forever.
Yeah.
He was with those Bucks teams with like Garnett. Like, or not
Yes.
Bucks, Nets teams with Garnett. Like dude,
Old.
he's been around forever. So
Old as hell.
sad state of affairs in Milwaukee. And if
I
they
do
lose
love Bobby
Giannis,
Portis. I do love Bobby Portis.
he looks like a cartoon character, and I like that.
And
But
it's awesome.
it is awesome, and he's off the sauce. No more PEDs for Bobby.
Him and JaVale McGee, like, same for me.
Similar vibe for sure from those two. But yeah, sad state of affairs. And if they lose Giannis this offseason, that is a franchise that is going to go directly down into the ground because
Yeah.
nobody wants to play in Milwaukee. It seems.
Yeah. But then Tyrese talking shit to Dame. Is it going to be Dame time? That's really the only thing that can save him, in my opinion.
The thing is, they are going to, the Pacers are going to win this series, but there probably is going to be at least one game, maybe even two, where like Dame and Giannis go crazy together,
Yeah.
probably in Milwaukee. And so it will look like a series sometimes because the Pacers aren't exactly like the best defensive team of all time either. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I've been seeing everybody say that Tyrese, they've never seen him talk shit when his team's losing. And I would say that's true, but I can't think of anybody except for like psychopaths like Patrick Beverly.
KD.
Yeah, that have talked shit when their team is losing.
Yeah.
But
Literally just a psychopath.
I have seen like other players say that the Pacers are like total front runners, which I could see their young team. And
Yeah.
Halliburton kind of seems like that, so
But
they were impressive though. I like the
I think
Pacers.
Miles Turner had a great game.
Yep.
God, who's their other one? Shit. But Miles Turner had a great game. He was like...
Pascal played well.
did. Spicy P did go crazy. I always forget that Spicy P's out there.
Spicy
Him
P.
and Miles Turner kind of make me just think they're the same. But Miles Turner he went like 4 for 6 from 3, dude, and only made threes. Like,
Yeah.
good for him.
No, he's it's still a good shot blocker as well. So
Yeah.
I like seeing my guy Benedict Mathurin out there too, just because I think it's funny that there's a guy named Benedict.
Benedict
But
Mathurin.
he's a killer. Benny the Butcher. Watch out for him. Um, yeah, and then next game was the best game of the day, though. What was your thoughts coming out of Clips
Oh,
Nugs
Nuggets clips.
OT?
Obviously, I was rooting for the Clippers all the way, just because I still think that Nuggets team is so weird, and it's if Jokic isn't on, they seems like nobody's on. Like if he's not playmaking or anything like that. Like Jamal Murray had a good game. That's
He
kind
did.
of the only reason that they stayed in that game. And Russ had a weird push down the end of the game in OT, where he's making weird layups and shit. But no, this was just one of those first games that it was weird for the Clippers. But I honestly think that they're gonna run away with it at the end here. Just because the way Kawhi looked, how Harden looked, Zubac always. I mean, they have a good team.
Yeah, Harden played really well. They played really well. They just couldn't close him out. Yeah, Russell Westbrook was like he was like a mystery bag at the end of that game. He had the big offense or the big rebound, put
Mm-hmm.
back, and then he was the guy that for some reason was taking the shot with 3 seconds left, and he just didn't even get a shot off. So that was like those were back to back possessions
Okay.
of
I
him.
love it. He just runs
Yeah,
like full speed at the hoop and like always rims out. It's awesome.
and he never. I don't. He's just an interesting fella to watch. Jamal was good. That's the thing. Like when Jamal is good, they can beat anybody,
Mm-hmm.
except for like maybe OKC consistently in the West because Jokic is that good, and when Murray's on and he's that good, he's very very good. So I thought that was pretty encouraging for the Nuggets. Honestly, I still like the Clippers in the series, but I thought that was an encouraging game for the Nuggets because Murray, I wasn't sure what they were going to get from him because he'd been hurt the back half of the season. But if he's going to be healthy and play well, I mean, they could easily beat the Clippers. I still
Okay.
like the Clippers in the series, but I thought that was encouraging for them for sure.
Yeah, it was a good game. And then second to last game of the night, Knicks Pistons, 112,
Knicks,
123.
Knicks fourth quarter torture chamber. That was the Pistons were right in that game, and Cade didn't even play well. And then
Mm-hmm.
the Knicks went on a 21-0 run from the 9 minute point in the fourth quarter till like the 3 minute point in
Yeah.
the fourth quarter, and just took them. I mean, and then they just ran them straight into the ground till the end, and it was very apparent that the Pistons had not, that the young core had not been in any playoff games. They were
Yeah.
frantic all over the
Mm-hmm.
place, and it's loud at MSG. They just looked uncomfortable, especially Cade.
Yeah. I don't know, especially playing at MSG for those young guys. We saw the same thing with Denver last year. Like what they finished first in the West the last year too,
Who,
and
Denver?
yeah,
I can't remember honestly off the top of my
but
head.
they were still a young team, and everyone thought they were gonna do pretty well. I know it's not the same expectations for the
Yeah,
Pistons, but I mean, when you're a young team and you haven't been in those playoff scenarios, like it's tough to overcome a lot of stuff,
yeah.
especially playing against that um, Knicks team. Like Cap had a good game, Jalen Brunson obviously had a good game. Um, it's tough in that scenario, especially when Cade isn't playing very well.
Yeah.
Like they did hang in there, but it's game of runs, man.
Well, and it's like, the only guy in the Pistons that really has any playoff experience, it's Malik Beasley and Tobias Harris, who are role players. And
Yeah.
Malik Beasley's been awesome, and Tobias Harris has been a really good, steady force for them, but they're role
Mhm.
players at the end of the day. So you need Cade to learn the intensity of playoff basketball quickly. This is probably
Yeah.
just going to be a learning year for them, and then they'll come back better next year, hopefully. But,
Yeah.
they could steal a game in Detroit. It's hard to sweep, but the Knicks look like the better team. They have been all year, and they have basically the opposite of what the Pistons have going on. Like Cat has been in a few really big playoff series with Minnesota. Jalen Brunson has been in playoff series his whole career. OG Anunoby was on those Toronto teams when they were making runs, and he was on the team that went to the finals and won.
Hmm.
So he's been around and done that. I mean, and Mikal Bridges was on the Suns teams that made consistent runs to the playoffs. So like they just have guys that have been there, done that. And when they're
Yeah.
at home and MSG's rocking like that and they're locking people down defensively, it's like pretty tough to beat them there. I still think
Hmm.
they're a tier below the really train them. I still think they're a tier below the rest of the teams in the East that are at the top, like the Celtics and the Cavs. I think they're just a little bit below them, but I mean, it's we see it every year in the playoffs. It just takes like one guy getting hot, a weird injury, or like somebody getting taken out, and then all of a sudden the Knicks are in the Eastern Conference Finals. So it was encouraging for them to come out and shut them down in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a good one, though. I'm excited for the rest of the series.
Yeah,
Going on to the next one, big game for the T-Wolves, beating the Lakers 117-95.
Nas Reed.
Yeah, that is a pretty good summarization.
Nas Reed. He's the man. I can't stop. I every time he shoots the ball, I think it's going in. There's never a time that I don't think it's going in. But Jaden McDaniels played really well. I I was surprised by him offensively. I thought McDaniels was awesome. Gobert didn't get played off the court the way that I kind of thought he would.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ant was obviously making plays for everybody. They just looked like the younger, more athletic team, and it was clear.
Yeah.
I still think Luka was awesome in the first quarter. I still think he's trying to like still. It's only been half a season. I still think he's like feeling out where he fits alongside LeBron in like a playoff series like this
Mm-hmm.
because he had an awesome first quarter, but that led to LeBron kind of deferring to him all first quarter because he knew he was hot. And then LeBron just kind of never got going. It was a weird LeBron game where he just kind of never got like in the flow of the game, it felt like. Reeves never got involved. He was totally taken out of the game by just the defense of the Wolves. So I thought the Wolves just looked like the younger, more athletic team.
Yeah, and I mean, we said this earlier in the week that the only way the Lakers are going to beat the Timberwolves is if they beat them down the floor and they don't let them get set up on defense. Because once they do, like they have so many good defensive like units. And Rudy Gobert, obviously, Julius Randle hasn't been playing the worst defense. Nas Reed, like he might as well be Rudy Gobert 2.0 on the defensive side. And Jaden McDaniels, great game, dropping 25, like especially when, I mean, Ant had a good game, but he didn't drop 35. I mean, he
No.
had a solid 22. So it was just a good game all around. And like you said, the more athletic team won. The team that's getting the most fast breaks, the most steals. Just as long as, and it's tough with like Luka, he doesn't get back on defense. LeBron's not going to get back on defense. And having
No.
to resort to guys that aren't really the most defensive minded, like, I don't know, Rui, Valentine, like, those guys
Yeah,
aren't
it's
defensive guys, in my opinion. Well, I mean, Valentine does a good job, but he had a
Vanderbilt.
lot of fouls and who?
Jared Vanderbilt.
Or Vanderbilt. Why did I
Yeah.
say Valentine? My bad.
No, you're good.
But yeah, Valentine, he was getting, or no, Vanderbilt, he was getting upset with Julius Randle, which I loved. And
Yeah.
I mean, he's a defensive guy, but they kind of got him in foul trouble and he couldn't do a whole lot. So, especially when they're not shooting well, it's tough.
Well, Vanderbilt just basically fouls people on every play, and then he's like, they can't call it every time. It's kind of like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
DB that like commits pass interference like on most plays, and they're like, can't call it every time. Um, exactly. I mean, yeah, it's tough to pick against like LeBron, obviously, and Luka, even at this point in LeBron's career. But I think at the start of this series, you and I both had the Wolves because of this exact reason. And I don't think every game is going to be a blowout, but it's just this exact reason was why I think that their length and athleticism and just the youth, but also the fact that they've been there, they went to the Western Conference Finals last year. I think that it's gonna overwhelm the Lakers a lot in this series. So obviously it's going to be a good series. I think the Lakers are probably going to win a couple of games, and Luka and LeBron are going to have a couple awesome games, I'm sure. But I still think Minnesota wins the whole thing, and I think this was kind of a blueprint of that.
There is another scenario I'm thinking of just because, like, the Timberwolves were talking their shit yesterday, and, like, I don't know if they're going to wake up LeBron and Luka. Because I don't know if you saw the picture of Julius Randle, like, doing his weird, like, three-point celebration that it looks like a gun, but it's not for some reason. Pointing that at Luka, I thought that was awesome. But, I don't
Yeah,
know, it could wake up some in Luka. So I guess
Luka
we'll just see.
is a psycho competitor. Like when people take things out on him, he holds grudges for sure.
Oh yeah.
He was awesome in the game, and he'll probably be awesome again. But I think they just need to figure out a way to get Reeves free from some of the defense. Like, because Reeves is an awesome player. I think I love Reeves. I would love to have him on my team, but he is a little bit smaller, like in terms of like length. And so when you have like Nikhil Alexander Walker and Edwards and McDaniels kind of switching between him, like it can totally take him out of the game because it's tough for him to deal with that. So they just need to. JJ Redick's a good coach. I'm sure he'll figure out a way to free up some of those guys. So
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. And then early this morning, I kind of was really happy that it was early this morning because I was partaking in the festivities of the holiday. Thunder
Easter.
absolutely, yes, exactly. Thunder absolutely destroy the Grizzlies, 131 to 80.
Dude, mean.
Yeah,
It was
that
mean.
is mean.
It was just mean. Watching it, it felt mean. Like Memphis, I don't know where Memphis goes from here. Like, I mean, if you lose by 50 in a game, I like the series should just probably be over. They should just like intentional walk, like it should just be like an intentional sweep. Like Memphis
Yes.
should be able to call the league and just be like, you guys watch that. I mean,
Yeah.
can we just call it? It's been a tough season.
Yeah,
Like
it's like,
yeah. I mean, OKC clearly is the best team. This is a 1-8 matchup. That's a huge mismatch. They just have so much more depth, like so much more playmaking. They're so much better defensively. I mean, the Grizzlies, I don't know where they go from here. I don't know how you feel about Ja and like the rest of the team, but like it feels to me like Ja has not developed into what he was supposed to for a number of reasons. He can't stay on the floor. He's had the off the court issues. I also just don't think he's really like tried to take his game to the next level. Obviously, I don't know him or see him every day, but it's like his game has been driving to the hoop. I'm more athletic than you, pick and rolls.
Mhm.
Everybody kind of said a few years ago when he was on the precipice of being the face of the league, like he just needs to develop his jump shot and his playmaking ability and play a little bit better defense. He's done none of that. He takes more threes, but he makes the same amount. So it's like, I don't know. I just feel like he hasn't developed, and I think this, like, if Memphis is serious about competing, they might have to like blow it up and try again.
Mhm. Yeah, and kind of one of their saving graces throughout the year was obviously Desmond Bain being like them being able to backpack him a little bit while Ja was out, and he wasn't really consistent throughout the year playing. And obviously he didn't show up, and then Jaren Jackson too on the defensive end, like he was good all season, and yet again OKC, like they're just way too fucking good, dude. Way too
Yeah.
fucking good.
I mean, the same amount. This has to do with like OKC being this good, but also just like they're a team that is uniquely built to just put a spotlight on the flaws of Memphis, like the fact that they don't have a lot of depth, the fact that they're pretty one-dimensional offensively, and they're not very creative. Like if you play OKC and you're not creative and you don't have multiple ways to score, like they're gonna do this to you basically
Yeah,
and just put you in a torture chamber, shut you down.
yeah,
They've got too much depth, too much athleticism on the wing. Like the fact that they can just be like, all right, Lou Dort, you come out, and then Caruso, you go in for him. It's like there's nobody to attack. There's no break in the
Mhm.
game
No, not at
because
all.
like Isaiah Joe can defend and Wiggins can defend. Even Shea can defend. He's just not as good of a defender as the rest of those guys, and he needs to save his energy for offense. It's like
Yeah,
Cason Wallace comes out and he's just a pest. Like there's just nothing. There's nothing to do against them. They just keep. It like comes in waves. You're like, oh,
hmm
okay, great. They're going to the bench. Oh, here comes Caruso to like just put me in a box for like 4 straight minutes and then go back
yeah.
to the bench and like replenish.
And I mean, it's the same thing with Chet. Like having Hartenstein come off the bench, dude. Like
And they started
he's a
together
unit.
today. They started
That's
them together
crazy. I
today,
actually
which
didn't see that.
the
That's
double
wild.
bigs. Yes, the double bigs. When Hardenstein and him are out there together, it's like Ja was getting past. They were basically letting Ja get past the first defender, and then he would get in the paint and be like, "Oh yeah, what do I do now? Nothing, nothing." Like I don't know. And Jackson was a non contributor because of that too. And I love
Yeah.
Jaren Jackson, but
And Jalen
yeah,
Williams broke the record. Well, not broke the record. He's fifth on the list now for the highest plus minus in the playoffs, 44.
44.
Which
That's
is
so
fucking,
ridiculous.
dude, it's crazy.
What do you
But I
think? Like,
definitely
what do
think
you?
you're right with the like them playing defense, and they have the best 10 man rotation like ever in my opinion. And like Shea just being able to focus on scoring for them, and like if they're in like a situation where they're actually running a play or like a pick and roll situation, like it's always going to be Shea. But everyone on their team can run the floor, and they're pretty much just like a copy and paste of each other. Like they all play well together. They all know that obviously Shea is going to be the guy scoring the points, but if you're getting steals like they do and rebounds and getting quick outlets, like everyone's running, and they're always going to beat everyone down the floor, being how young they are.
Yeah, everything just feels easy for them when they're out there. I don't know who. I mean, really, the only team that I think can beat them is like it sounds like cheesy, but like is themselves because they are so young. That's the
Yeah.
only way that they lose in the West, at least. I mean, the
Mm-hmm.
toughest matchup for them is the Celtics or the Cavs. That's like, so they're not going to see either of those teams, obviously. I think the Clippers could be a tough matchup for them, but I think at the end of the day, they would still beat the Clippers. So it's just like, I think the toughest matchup for them on paper is probably the Celtics, and then the Cavs were, shortly after that. But um, yeah, I mean, this is going to be a sweep, and
Yeah.
like they could like have one of those playoff runs where we look back and it's just like I don't want to overreact too much to one game against a team that is just not on their
Dog
level,
shit,
but
kind of.
they we could look back on this like if they just run through everybody and just be like, is that the best team like since the 73-9 Warriors? Like they have the chance to be that good for sure.
Yeah.
So
And especially if they just run through everyone in this playoffs and they win.
steamroll.
Like, yeah. And then just got over Celtics beat the Magic. I mean, same kind of story. They were in it for. I mean, Memphis was in it for a little bit, but same kind of story as the Knicks, Pistons. Like, kind of just ran away with it at the end there.
Yeah, I mean the Magic were up at halftime, but there was never a time in this game where I thought the Magic are gonna be in this in the fourth. Like it's just Tatum didn't play very well. Really, neither did Jalen Brown. Like the Celtics didn't even play very well at all.
Mm-hmm.
And meanwhile, on the other side, Paolo played like the best game he could have played. Franz played awesome, and they
Yeah,
still lost by like 20. So
dude. They have like I didn't watch many Magic games this season. They have nobody.
unfortunately, I watched a lot of Magic games because I'm just a sicko and I just like basketball.
Friends is your
Um,
guy.
and Franz is my guy, and I wanted them to be good because I liked them last year. I wanted them to take a step up.
Yeah,
They need a new coach that has like some offensive imagination. Like, come on, like some like I don't understand why we hear about all the coaches on the hot seat and the Magic are never brought up.
mm-hmm.
They seem pretty complacent. It's a small market, whatever.
Yeah.
They need some. They need another playmaker, and then they need somebody who actually like gets creative with like some of these offensive sets because they bring the ball up the floor and it's like, all right, Paolo,
Yeah,
do it, do
immediate
the thing.
ISO. Yeah.
Yeah, do the thing where you run the play where you score, Paolo.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Like I don't get it, but I mean, I don't have much to say about this game. Celtics are very
Crazy.
good,
Yeah.
and
And
they're a
then
lot
Derek,
better than this Magic team. So
I didn't even realize Derek White had 30.
yeah,
Good for
sometimes he
him,
he can't miss from three. Sometimes
which is awesome. And then six man of the year did his thing.
Pritchard,
Oregon native. Shout out
yeah,
him.
shout out Peyton Pritchard.
And then we
He's
already
he's the
touched on
man.
Drew, obviously playing defense, scoring 9 there at the end. And then you already touched on it, but Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum not having the best game, but you don't really need to when you have a team like that.
Yep. That's what's nice about OKC and the Celtics. Both of them is that like Shea didn't play very well to start this game. Didn't matter. They were still up 30.
Yeah.
Jason Tatum didn't play very well in this game. Still win by 20. Like there will be times that they need to be the best player on their team, but
Yeah.
honestly, it probably won't be until like round 2 and 3. So
And dude, I've absolutely. I mean, and it's same thing. Like they both have the best coaches in the league, like Joe Mazzulla, and then what's the Thunder's coach?
Dagnall.
Yeah, like I'm a huge Joe Mazzulla guy. That guy's a fucking psycho.
Missoula, like when they lost Ime Udoka, because I think Udoka's an awesome coach, I was worried about what was going to happen with them and all their talent. But Missoula is truly awesome, and he is
Yes,
a sicko about winning. So,
yes,
and the guys on the Celtics when they talk about him, they seem to think like he cares about them,
oh
like
yeah,
in a way that seems different. So I love Missoula as well, and that's yeah. I mean, it's the same reason I think the Clippers will come back and have a good game plan next game is that Ty Lue's an awesome coach. He's a great
yes,
in season or in series adjuster. So great coaching starts to matter in the playoffs, and like that's why a team like the Magic, who has some really awesome, some good young players in their team, they're not going to compete in this series because they don't get creative, they don't change anything. So they need something, some sort of shakeup as well.
yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then Cavs Heat is on right now. The Cleveland Cavaliers are up 45-36.
This series will have one weird game that the Heat win.
Yeah, I agree. There's gonna be one game where Hero or Bam just go absolutely crazy and do
And the
this.
Cavs can't make a shot. Probably my prediction is second game in Miami. Because it'll
Oh
probably be
god.
3-0. The Cavs will go out that night for sure in South
Yes.
Beach. And then they'll lose the next game like 86-92.
Yeah.
But this won't be much of a series either, even with
Yeah.
Heat culture.
I agree.
The big one is later tonight. Rockets and Warriors starting. I think this has the potential to be really good. But I would ask you, do you think we're going to see like basically round 2 what we saw in with Minnesota last night, where we're thinking like the veteran team that's been there before with some star power is gonna out execute this young team, but then the athleticism of the Rockets will like overwhelm the Warriors at all.
No. I mean, I really want Golden State to win this series. Just I mean, I want them to, and I think they will, just because like you touched on, the veteran aspect is huge in the playoffs, and I mean, Houston doesn't have a whole lot of that besides what Van Fleet and
Jeff Green.
Jeff.
Jeff Green, yes.
They're keeping Jeff Green as a fossil by now.
He's giving them things off the court, I'm sure, but on the court, no.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, I think Steph's gonna do his thing. Like, no one's gonna be able to guard Steph. Draymond, I don't know what's gonna happen. The only thing I could see is just them getting bullied in the paint. Like, I kind of predicted they would, but I think it's gonna be a really high scoring game, and the Warriors are gonna come up on top.
I want a special Steph series just for
Yes.
just for the nostalgia of it, and because he's getting older, so we probably won't have very many of those moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
But I just keep having this vision of Amin Thompson like guarding him all series and just him being just like not good, but I just think that Thompson is going to bother him a lot. So
Yeah.
like the more I think about this series, I still feel good about the Warriors and like my pick of them potentially making like a weird run to the Western Conference Finals, but this might be their toughest series low key because just Thompson, Brooks, and Brooks is obviously going to try and get into it with Draymond. Like this is going to be a weird series, and it's going to be who can keep their head. I mean,
Yeah.
Ime Udoka talks direct shit to Steph Curry as the coach of the Rockets.
Mm-hmm.
He talks direct shit to Steph, and he's talked shit. He stepped up to LeBron and called him a bitch
I fucking love it.
right to his face. So Ime, this has nobody believes in us vibes. I think he's gonna be telling his guys all week, nobody believes in us, nobody thinks we can beat this team. So I just hope the Warriors come out ready for that. I think they will with Butler and with all the veteran leadership on them. But
Who do you think's guarding Jimmy?
Probably a combination of Brooks, Thompson, and
Jalen Green.
Tari Eason off the bench, maybe.
Mm,
I think Eason could give him some trouble. They have like a similar body type, and Eason's a psycho.
yeah, he
Um,
is.
so I think a combination of those guys. But I think they're going to try and have Thompson stuck to Curry like
Yeah.
the whole series, and he's a freak. So
I mean, I think if Sengun and Steven Adams have a good game, like it might be wraps for Warriors, but yeah, it's all going to depend on if Jimmy and Curry show up tonight
yep.
because they don't really have a whole lot other than that for scoring.
The Rockets kind of have I kind of have like a personal interest in them like looking really bad and losing, which I don't wish that on anybody, but like if I was gonna wish that on a team, it would be them this series because then I think they're the prime team to panic and try and trade for Kevin Durant, which I would like to happen since I'm a Suns fan and I want our picks back, honestly.
Yeah,
Give me our picks back and you can have Kevin Durant. Like I just think they're a team that if they look bad and they lose in five, they might make a big panic trade and I would like that personally.
yeah. And you guys need your picks
I would like my picks back, please. Yes. Thank you.
very, very much, very, very much. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that is the first round of
NBA
the
talk.
NBA talk. Now we're going to switch to a little bit of baseball. No, we touched on the Yankees, obviously, and then my Pirates get swept by the Guardians. Kind of saw this coming. Bobblehead night. That's the only thing I have to touch on it. Bobblehead night was the biggest showing we've had. I think it was all last year and all this year. Everyone wanted a Paul Skeens bobblehead because it was his rookie one, whatever. The owner they only give out 20,000 or not 20,000. It was I think it might have been the first like 10,000 or something like that. They gave out
Yeah.
free bobbleheads. And then the owner came out and said that he is going to ship bobbleheads to everyone else that did not get one and had a ticket. And all I'm thinking is how fucking expensive that is for them. And
Yeah.
they can't put that money towards maybe another player or something like that. Maybe, I don't know, something. I know they want the fans to come back, but they're not going to stay. Like, they'll come back for the bobbleheads. Bobbleheads are pretty cool. Paul Skeens is cool. But not when Paul Skeens is sad after everyone gets bobbleheads. I don't
Yeah.
know.
And he says, I wish we could have gave him a win. Yeah. That money
Oh, and
maybe could have.
there was also before the game, Tommy Pham was about 2 hours before the game. Tommy Pham was standing outside on the street in his flip flops and a cutoff shirt, and he looked like he was waiting for his DoorDash.
All time
And
photo.
honestly, I love that from him. Hopefully next time it can be like something that makes him play better, or like maybe something that makes him younger. But I don't know. And then we keep putting Kutch in and out of the lineup. We play a lot better when Kutch is in the lineup. We put O'Neal Cruz back on the map saying he's better than Ellie, and then he went 3 games with 6 RBIs, 3 home runs, and he's still on the tear. So good for us on that. We've been doing that, just shouting people out, and then they go on fucking rampages.
Yeah, the two
Which-
guys, one take bump. I kind of like
Yeah.
it.
Yes, the 2 guys, 1 take bump. But
O'Neal, this is your open invite to come on the podcast.
he definitely watches. He has to.
Has to watch. Yeah, Tommy Pham, that was an all-time photo. I thought he got DFA'd, and then he was just standing outside of the
That would
stadium.
be awesome.
I thought he got DFA'd, and he was like, "Fuck it, I'll just go to the game." Like,
Yeah, literally. Get a fucking bobblehead.
yeah, I want a bobblehead. Yeah, shipping the bobbleheads. Real quick touch on that. I think that money probably could have gone to somebody to protect our friend O'Neal Cruz in the lineup, maybe a little bit.
Yes.
Maybe just like a little bit of protection for him. But it's the Pirates. I mean, they until that guy sells the team, like
Oh yeah,
it's just
they
gonna
hit
be
him
like
with the
this.
sell the team chant too, while your best player is pitching.
Yeah,
That would make me want to stay.
yeah, tough scene,
Yeah. Tough scene.
very.
And then
yeah.
Sorry, did you have anything else you wanted to say on that?
No, I was just gonna say I think that this might be the longest time that we're gonna be on watch for somebody that like Paul Skeens is not gonna be a free agent until like 5 years from now, but I feel like we're already on Paul Skeens watch. Like, where's he gonna go?
Yeah.
And it's 5 years from now, or something like that, 5 or 6 years. But like everybody, when they see him after the games, they're like, "Where's he gonna go?" And I'm
And
just
he
like,
just looks so sad.
and it's like the Pirates, dude. You have him right now. Go sign. Like we could do this. We could do this every week. Go get
Literally
somebody.
every week.
Go
But
get
we
somebody.
need to not waste our breath.
Yeah.
I'll kind of fly through some just because baseball is super weird right now and weird teams are good. Red Sox win in the series over the White Sox or I think it was 2-1. Obviously, the Yankees are still leading in that division. Reds beat the Orioles 2-1 in that series. And today, 24-2.
24
That's
wins.
wild. Wild.
Charlie Morton just keeps going out there and pitching and doing awful for the Orioles.
I want to be a fan of the Orioles just because I like their young, up and coming. I like
Yeah.
Hadley. Their pitching staff isn't the worst, in my opinion, but I don't understand how the Reds keep winning ball games. Like, Ellie's obviously awesome, but they don't have anyone else. Well, Hunter Green.
Hunter Green, but he
Yeah.
got roughed up yesterday.
He did.
Yeah, offensively, it's like basically Ellie, and then it's Gavin
The
Lux.
Well, they have this Hayes. What's his first name? He's batting like 400 right now, but
Yeah, no, I mean they have like young guys coming up. They've been a team that I feel like every year everybody's been like, "Oh, watch out for the Reds!" Like they're on the come up with Ellie, and then they traded for Gavin Lux. They've kind of got young guys, but
yeah,
I've never, I think they're still going to be hovering around 500 most of the year.
weird
Um,
division. Weird division.
That division stinks, other than the
Other than the
Cubs.
Cubs, yeah, other than the Cubs. Cubs are fucking dogs. What's after that? Yeah, 24 runs though, crazy. Braves, they get their second series win this year over the Twins.
Dude,
Yeah, the Braves are weird as fuck right now. But
did you see the Jared Kelenic like not running the ball out, then gets thrown out at second base, and then
yeah,
Acuna tweeting, "If that was me, they would take me out of the game."
yeah,
So the Braves are not in a
No.
good spot.
that's not a good look. Not a good look. And Chris Sale really hasn't. He's only had one good start really, and I think
Yeah,
they still lost. So
he used all his powers last year.
start. And honestly, it's crazy. He had a good year last year. I never would have thought, but he
I
got
was,
that back.
yeah, that was crazy last year.
Yeah, he got it back. Brewers 2-1 over the A's. Brewers are super weird. Like they're second in their division right now. I have no idea what to think of them. Jackson Chourio is absolutely killing it. Yelich is like, I think he's coming along, but a little slow start to the season. Other than that,
Yeah, Brewers. I love Churio. He's awesome. Basically, like the NL Central is like the Cubs, and then it's like, I mean, the Brewers will probably get second place in that division. Them or the Reds, but I think them and the Reds are both just gonna hover around like that 500 mark. Like I think, like honestly, 83 wins could win you this division, though.
mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
It's crazy.
it is. And then TJ McFarland, I think it's McFarland for the A's are leading the league in home runs right now. And I think he's also, is it McFarland?
McFarland. It's either him
Oh,
or
wait, no.
Rooker.
What's his name? Tyler Soderstrom, actually.
Oh, okay.
Tyler Soderstrom. I think he's one of the youngest people in MLB, but he's also leading the league in home runs. So that's cool for the A's.
Yeah.
I love seeing that. And their young guy Mason Miller as well has been hitting super good. So, yeah, the A's are a good team to bet the over on, if anyone
If they're
has
at
ever.
home, if they're
Yeah.
at home, you bet the over.
Yes.
The ball flies out of that little league stadium in Sacramento.
Yes. And that is the same thing with
The Rays.
the Rays, but also the
Yes.
Yankees field weirdly enough.
Yes.
Raves/Yankees home field. Both
Yes.
teams were playing home field games that series. So
It was strange. It was weird.
Did you
Yeah.
see the graph or not the graphic, but the picture of the like entrance? It was like the Rays logo, and then it had the Yankee, or it was like Rays
Yeah.
home field, and then there was a Yankees logo right above it. I was like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
super sick. Yeah, who bats first or who bats second? Don't know.
And then on the scoreboard on the back of it literally says "Thank you, Yankees," but then we're in the
Yeah,
division with them. So it's just the Rays need like a new home, a new thing.
I
I
mean
don't
they're
know
having
where.
fun. They're hitting bombs, and they're not playing terrible,
They get to
really.
play outside in Tampa in the spring. Like it's a good time.
Like
I
them
get it.
taking one from the Yankees is really surprising in my opinion.
Yeah.
Uh, but good for them. Uh, M's 2-1 over Blues. M's are not bad. That
Four straight
division,
series wins.
yes, that division is not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
No, because the Astros are starting to come on a little bit. They started off slow. I still don't think they're going to be that good, but
I don't think they are either.
I think this is going to be a down year for them. But the Mariners I mean, they're going to pitch, so there's that. They've been hitting the ball better. Cal Raleigh has been insane.
Yeah,
Randy's been, hot and cold. But they've been better than I thought they were going to be. They were like my pick to win that division, basically just because I was like, they're going to pitch, and I don't like the
hmm
rest of the division. But the rest of the division, like the Rangers look pretty good. Um, the Astros aren't going to be like pushovers, and then the Mariners look pretty good. So it's going to be pretty competitive. A's are not like awful. They're not going
yeah,
to win the division, but you can't just like walk into a series like they're the White Sox or something. So
yeah. I think you definitely hit it on the nail. Rangers, I mean, they look decent. I love watching Evaldi pitch. They have a good. I mean, other than Jock Peterson, really, their lineup is awesome. Jock's hitting like a, a quarter or something like that. I have no idea. But the rest of the division, they're all sitting about 500. I think
yeah,
every divisional series is going to be pretty good. Uh, Angels and Astros, weird team. I thought they were going to be bottom of that division. I thought the A's were going to sneak in the middle. Uh, but yeah, super, super weird.
the Angels sneaky have a lot of guys that like you're like, oh, they're the Angels. Like Tim Anderson starts at short for them,
Yeah. And he, like, I mean, he hasn't been hitting as well, but he's a good defensive
playing good
shortstop.
defensive shortstop, and then Kenley Jansen closes games for them. Like they just have weird guys where you're like, oh, they're on the Angels, nice.
Yeah. And the thing on Kenley that we both, well, I sent
Yes,
you, that Kenley has started more games at catcher than he has pitching in his
which is
career, which is
crazy
fucking wild.
because I feel like I've been watching him close games like back with the Dodgers, like since I was
Forever.
like a kid, since I was like
Forever.
12. I feel like
Yeah. Insane. Yeah, but good on the M's. Our whole life we've seen M's that suck, and I think now they're finally getting to where they've wanted to be within the last couple of years, like signing good pitchers, and hopefully they can build a solid enough rotation. And I think that they have finally done that.
I just want a M's playoff series here. I want a Yankees M's playoff series so I can go to
Oh, dude,
multiple playoff
M's
games.
M's may get a playoff series. I'm coming.
Yes,
I'm coming. Um, Next, Tigers Royals. Tigers 3-1 over the Royals in the series. One of the best staffs in baseball, in my opinion. Screwball, Mize, and then Flaherty, all under like a 2.3 ERA. Screwball got the loss today, but I like their offense too. I mean, Torkelson, was it McKinney, and then I forgot the other guy, but they're a fun team to
Riley
watch.
Green.
Riley Green, yeah, and especially when Torkelson's or not Torkelson, but Screwball's pitching, dude. Like one of the best teams in baseball, really, in my opinion.
Sneaky, like craziest move of just like the off season was the fact that they traded Flaherty mid-season last year, got prospects back, and then re-signed him in the off season. That doesn't
Yeah,
happen like ever. So
no,
it's good on them. I mean, I like watching the Tigers.
yeah, and from like years past,
It's been rough there.
it has been rough there. And dude, it's so crazy that Javi's still on that team. I mean, he's kind of
Javi,
stuck there, but
that
yeah,
was a huge contract they gave Javi.
massive. And they like have to play him. I feel so bad, but he's still decent, and he's not. He's hitting like 240 or 240, not the worst in the 9 hole.
Yeah, he
Um,
still can't. He still hasn't figured out. I mean, I watched him with the Cubs. My dad's a big Cubs fan. Like, he still hasn't figured out that like when a slider starts on the outside corner, it's gonna end like in the dirt
Yeah.
on the ground. He still
Yeah.
swings at those.
And then Torres, I mean, Gleyber Torres was a good signing for them,
Yeah, he
and
was.
Kerry Carpenter's killing it as well.
Yeah.
But boring Mets sweep cards. Kind of everyone thought Cardinals are a weird team. They I feel like they kill the shitty teams, and then when they play like a decent team, they kind of don't show up. But that's just my opinion.
Weird vibe from the Cardinals. I mean, they tried to trade Arenado in the offseason and he said no.
Yeah.
So, like, and then they just were like, okay, well, then come back, I guess, and we'll just keep the same team as last year that, like, was right in the middle. So they're stuck.
They're in a weird spot, too. They're sitting, like, middle of their division.
Yeah, they're stuck.
Nats sweep the Rockies. Rockies fucking suck. We don't really need to talk about that. Kind of like the Nats, they're coming up, young team, too.
Like the young guys.
Really getting the most they can out of that Juan Soto trade. Yeah.
Yep.
What's next? A team that I actually do like talking about. The Giants. Who did they? I think they just won.
They just won.
Beat the Angel, or no? They just lost to the Angels.
They lost?
I guess.
They were winning. Oh my god.
They got walked off. 4 runs in
Wow.
the 9th. Wow, I didn't even see that. That's crazy.
Shout out to the Angels.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
I like the Giants. Yeah, so they tied in that series, but I like the Giants pitching staff. I think they have a solid lineup for if their pitchers can keep the other team with under 3 runs. I think they're always going to score like 4 or 5 runs a game. So as long as their pitching staff can still like go out there and kind of shove, like having Verlander, Robbie Ray.
Logan
who's
Webb.
the other one? Logan Webb, and I mean not the worst bullpen, but yeah, fun team to watch. And didn't get to say it on Wednesday, but Jung Ho Lee batting title.
The man.
That is my take. That is my hottest take for this episode.
Jungle Lee batting title.
Yes, the Hooligans, dude.
Yeah.
What a better name for a crowd in the outfield.
The Giants, I want them to be relevant for very selfish reasons. I love their stadium and I love seeing it on TV and I love their uniforms and I love seeing that on TV. So if I can see that into the playoffs, I'll be happy. I just like it. Their vibe is great. If I had to pick an NL team, it'd probably be them.
Yeah.
I just like their vibe.
Oh, 100%. And then 2 more, but the one that I really liked, Padres Astros are playing right now. They're both 1-1 in the series, so don't know how that one's going to turn out. But the series that I liked the most, Cubs, Diamondbacks. That was a great series. The Cubs are absolutely fucking killing it on offense. They have one of the worst bullpens in the whole league, but everyone on their team is absolutely swinging it. And when there is breeze blowing out in Chicago, there's going to be a lot of runs.
Yes, that series was awesome because the Diamondbacks can score too. They had like the best offense in the league last year, and they've kind of picked up right where they left off. Shout out Corbin Carroll,
And Josh
Seattle guy.
Naylor, weird, just hitting.
Big boy that can hit.
Literally.
Just a big man
Weird
walking.
signing. The weirdest signing, but everyone just sees everything in him, and like he is going off right now.
He hits everything. Just a big man that can hit from the left side. That series was awesome. Loved watching that series. Kyle Tucker, big time home run.
Yeah.
In the game where there was like 3 grand slams or 2 grand slams and like all those home
Michael
runs.
Bush hit 2 home runs. One of them was a grand slam. Pete Crow Armstrong is a fucking dog.
He is.
He's honestly my favorite player to watch, just because he's like, kind of looks like he's schizophrenic and like with his weird colored hair and like he always is hitting with like a Devers size fucking chew, and and his earrings too. It's awesome. I love all of it.
Yeah, he's a funny guy. He was supposed to just be like a defense and like base running guy, and he's been hitting. So shout out Pete Crow Armstrong for that.
Yes.
That series was awesome.
Yeah, like the Cubs score 5 in the bottom of the 7th, Diamondbacks come back, score 10 in the top of the 8th, and then Cubs score 6 in the bottom of the 8th. Like, Wild.
Ridiculous.
11-13. Did you see that guy tweet? It was like, you're a fucking idiot if you take the over 11.5 on the Diamondbacks Cubs game. That shit was
No,
funny.
that
Yeah,
is
that shit was
hilarious.
funny. But yeah, that's the MLB
Baseball
and
talk.
baseball talk. That was nice right there. So, next we got this week, our favorite moment in sports. And mine, April 27th, 2017, my Pittsburgh Steelers draft, TJ Watt first.
Wow.
And I'm just saying that because TJ, if you're listening, if you're out there, you are the man. We need you. And if you leave, I will be very, very sad. And I don't know if I will watch a Steelers game this year.
TJ, stay. This man, his mental health depends upon you being a Steeler.
Mm-hmm. Because if he leaves and we stupidly trade up for draft picks, I don't know, draft night could actually be pretty fun. I'm usually not a huge like watching the draft kind of guy, but I think it could be pretty fun this year, especially with all of the quarterbacks in it and stuff, but we'll see.
We could not be more opposite in that when the draft is on. I do not move for 4 hours. I hear that little noise. Do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do. And I think when that noise starts happening in my house, my wife has she literally starts throwing up. She's like,
Yes.
oh, so you're not going to move for 5 hours and you're just going to sit there even though you know all these guys and be like, this is the guy. I know this guy. This one's the guy. I'm telling you. So probably my favorite day, one of my favorite days of the year, probably my wife's least favorite. We didn't plan this, but I have a draft related this day in sports as well. 2001, Michael Vick drafted to the Falcons.
Wow.
With the first pick.
Generational quarterback.
Generational. Kind of
Changed
the
the
reason
game.
that I honestly got into football. I was always a Seahawks fan, but that was the first guy when I was a kid, being 5 years old, you're like, who the fuck is that? How is he that fast?
Yes.
And so
I'm
him
sure
jumping
kids
off
are
the
saying
screen.
the same thing about Lamar Jackson right now. And there
Lamar
wouldn't be a
Jackson
Lamar
right
Jackson
now.
if there wasn't a Mike Vick.
Saquon as well. I know it's a different position, but seeing those guys jump off the screen as a kid, you're like, holy shit. So
what the fuck?
Michael Vick, and then this one isn't really a memory, but it's just one that stood out to me when I was doing some research. In 1977, Yankees manager Billy Martin pulled the Yankees lineup out of a hat, and they won 8-6.
I saw that too.
That is fucking
I
awesome.
think more coaches should do it.
If your team is struggling, pull the lineup out of a hat. That'd be awesome. If you've lost White Sox. If you've lost 9 of your last 10, pull the lineup out of a hat.
Yeah. White Sox thing I also saw is that this year, 60% of their wins have been against the Red Sox, which I know you love.
Yes, that's my favorite thing.
Yes.
It's fuck the Red Sox forever.
Yeah. But great moments. Great moments. We'll end it off with some shout-outs. Scrolling through X, I just saw something random. 17-year-old Australian sprinter. His name is Gout Gout.
What's his name?
Gout Gout. Gout.
Okay.
He ran a 9.99 second 100 meter, which is fucking
Wow.
fast. They're calling him the next Usain Bolt.
That is extremely fast, and that's a Hall of Fame name already.
And he's 17.
Wow. That's a Hall of Fame name, and that's a crazy time to run, especially at 17.
Yes.
He's cooking.
Gout Gout. And then last one, U.S. women's hockey team. They beat the Canadian women's hockey team in the Women's Worlds, and they got a gold medal. 4-3 in overtime.
Shout out to the ladies. Shout
Beating
out hockey.
Canada. Yeah, shout out. It's hockey playoffs. We don't even talk hockey playoffs. We could.
We don't have
really
time
know
to
a
talk
whole lot
hockey
about-
playoffs, but
Yeah.
I have been watching some of the hockey playoffs, but I haven't been locked into every game, won't lie.
Yeah.
But shout out to the ladies. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Shout out beating Canada. We'll just beat you at your own game.
Yes. Except in that weird. Wait, was that Canada that we lost to in the All-Star thing?
The Four Nations, we beat them and then we lost in the championship. Yeah, that's rough.
Tough.
I've got a shout out. I went on Friday night to the University of Washington baseball game. UW, they were playing University of Illinois, so I felt like I had to go. Sat right behind home plate. Really wanted to get the full experience. Really just lock in and see what it's all about. I did no research on either team before going. Just kind of showed up. Here's some things that stood out. I want to shout out UW sophomore catcher Colton Bauer. Shout out to you. He walks up to the Home Depot commercial theme song, which is already great.
Yes.
He also had a whole group of women, like 20 of them, up the first baseline. Every time he'd come up, let's go, Colton. Come on, Colton. I don't even know if this guy had a hit, but he was electric. Just his vibe. I've never had a catcher like that with so much aura.
Yes.
So shout out to him. He's from Poolsbo, Washington. Went to Washington State the year before this. Came back to the West Side. I don't even care if he had a hit. He was great.
He was great.
On the other side, Illinois catcher. Can't remember his name. Shout out to him. I don't know if he can hit, but he was dominant defensively. He threw out like 3 guys. Nothing got past him. He made like 2 catches, like ball straight up in the air. I can't even fucking see it. Boom, he's right under it. If I'm a scout, I don't give a shit if that guy can't hit. I want him on my team. He was awesome defensively. So shout out to the catchers. That's really what I'm saying.
It's a big weekend for you, dude.
Huge weekend. Huge weekend for the catchers.
Yeah. Well.
Shout out. All right, last thing, I got a birthday.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Last thing, I got a birthday. Happy birthday to my guy, Don Mattingly.
Oh, fuck, dude, you took mine.
Okay, well, then we're both saying happy birthday to Mr. Mattingly.
Great
former
birthday.
Yankee legend.
What
awesome manager. Awesome manager. And then I'm watching the Mariners game yesterday a little bit, and they cut to the Blue Jays dugout, and I see my guy Mattingly. I didn't even know he was on the staff. He's still in the game.
He's always going to be in baseball, dude.
He's the man.
Baseball guy through and through.
Yes.
But 420 is an immaculate birthday. I wish there was more. I wish it was Cody Bellinger's birthday.
Yeah. That's my out-of-pocket stat. Cody Bellinger's hit a home run on 420 the last 3 seasons.
As he should. He's relaxed, man.
And each time he's hit a home run, he looks like this at the camera. Belly.
One of my favorite baseball players ever.
Shout out to Belly. I hope he stays.
He's
with
gonna
the
go
Yankees.
crazy now that we said something about him anyway. So
True, yeah. Shout out Belly. Congrats on your success.
Have the
Don
best
Mattingly's
birthday
going
ever.
to take over as Blue Jays manager by force.
Yes. Because
Hell
it's
yeah.
his birthday. But sweet.
Good talk.
Great episode.
All right. Thanks
Great
for listening,
episode.
y'all. Make sure you follow on Twitter, Instagram. What is that up yet or no?
They still.
Dude,
Zuck.
Mark Zuckerberg.
He doesn't want to hear the takes.
I'm going to have to give him a call, dude. Seriously.
Fucking Zuck.
Well, once the Instagram's up, follow that. Subscribe on YouTube. And we'll see y'all again.
Midweek, maybe?
Midweek for a little midweek show.
Playoffs.
Yeah. Hopefully these games throughout the week are
over.
Better than they've been so far.
Yeah. Will any of them be over, maybe?
Yeah. No, not midweek.
Well, we'll see you then.
All right. See y'all then. Bye, y'all.